These are all the shows I watched as a kid.
Really?
The
Yeah.
Night Stalker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Night Stalker was. Did you get scared?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I know. To us, in making the show, it wasn't scary at all. And Darren McGavin became kind of an asshole, and he wanted to run the whole show. And my friend Paul, who was the producer, who had brought me along, that was like my second job, argued with him, and he was replaced. He was replaced and gotten rid of sort of at the same time. It was mutual. And they brought in this new guy. I stayed the whole season. And it was just, it was, and it got sillier and sillier and sillier. That this one guy would go out and search these monsters every week. It was really ridiculous. Well, it was just the original movie had been great. Now, he was a crime reporter in Las Vegas, and showgirls were being murdered in Vegas, and nobody thought it was a vampire. He began to think that it was because of reading and it was a vampire. And so after that, they did another movie about I don't know what it was about, and then they did the show with a monster a week. And we had to make up monsters. We didn't have enough. It was fun. I'll tell you. Darren was a pain in the ass, but it was fun. And we had a big argument. It was a 7-day show. It was an hour show. We used to shoot it in 7 days.
Holy shit.
And a lot of it was supposed to be at night. And night shooting, as you know, is very costly and more difficult. And so the new producer came in and he said, now listen, who says that a vampire can't go out in the daytime? Because they wanted to shoot in the daytime. And I said, I said, no, that's not what vampires do. Well, I know that's what they say, but who says there can't be a special vampire that goes out in the daytime? And I wanted to write a book called Vampire Logic, which would explain everything from the vampire's point of view, but I never did. But we used to have these fights all the time. And, it was really cheap. And so to me, it was never scary. Although I was a scaredy cat kid, I loved monster stories.
I like them to an extent.
I liked them. I really liked them. One of the guys who worked on the show was a guy named Michael Kozel, who later co-created Hill Street Blues. And he was very funny. I mean, we had, we were grown-up guys in our 20s making fun of that stuff while we were doing it. It was great.
David, last night while we were doing the screening, I thought about something that somebody had said. Somebody was asking a question, and he said that he thought it was one of the funniest shows he had ever seen. Now, you and I both know that when you wrote the show, when you look at the listings, it says a drama.
I know.
It's a drama.
I know.
How did you make this show so effing funny? Because I laugh my ass off, and it's tough to make me laugh.
So do I. I watch the old ones and I think, God, this is funny.
Hilarious.
It had to be that way. It just, I think everybody who was on the show had a talent for delivering that kind of thing. Jim was good at it. Jim understood it. He had some failings at doing comedy, but I don't know. They just seemed fun. They just seemed funny to me. I mean, that was done like sort of the years, kind of the end of the mob, They were getting put in jail a lot. Drugs had really put a dent in them because selling and doing drugs, because there was those new rules. I forget what they were called, but the older wise guys, if they stole some money, they could do 5 years in jail. That wasn't, a problem. I mean, it's a problem, but they could do it. But the new rules were drug offense, federal prison, 35 years. And those guys couldn't take it. And so they would rat out their friends. And that's how it all started to fall apart.
Because, I I always say this to people. I think when you did the whatever for Christopher Moltisanti when he was doing drugs, the intervention.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the funniest things that ever hit TV. That's my personal opinion, not because you're in the room. I'm telling you this, that I have thought of this over and over. That is my favorite all-time scene on The Sopranos.
Really? Well,
All that
actually,
intervention when he calls his mother a whore and all that. I'm dying of laughter. I'm dying.
I know. I
Fuck
know.
you, Silvio. You fuck all the whores over there and his wife. And it was just, and then all of a sudden they're fighting and they're kicking each other. It was an intervention.
Right.
It was supposed to be an intervention. Even though you're a drama writer, I got to tell you, I learned from you watching the show as a comic.
Well, but the thing is, I was supposed to be a drama writer. Those shows are called by the TV Academy. Our shows are called dramas. Um, and from the beginning, from the Night Stalker, there was a lot of humor in it. I don't know if you've gone back and looked at it. There's a lot of stupid, silly humor, cartoonish. So I got some of my chops there. The Rockford Files had a lot of humor in it. Smarter, more witty, not so goofy, but had a lot of humor. So I was really, by the time I arrived at Sopranos, that's what I knew how to do, was to write action or drama shows or whatever kind of show, and also put a lot of humor in it. And I always felt that, in my real life, I used to see funny things happen at the worst time. We've all seen it, um, you know, and I couldn't get enough of it. I love doing it.
It seems like you have comedic influences, and I would have to say, because I love them also, it would be your writing is in the Bob Newhart realm.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah,
love Bob
sure.
Newhart. That dude has always made me laugh, his deadpan delivery. But when I
Yeah,
see your writing, the type of non-jokes that you write, because they're non-jokes,
no, they're not. Yeah.
and I laugh my ass off. Even in this movie, last night, there was a couple couple lines, couple things that you did that were just brilliant.
Yeah. Give me
The
an example.
Italian girl, when she says "motherfuck," I almost died.
Oh, yeah, right, right.
Even those little things, like I would never, as a comic, think that was funny. You hit the fucking nail with
Well,
the
it's
head with this.
situation, it's situation comedy, really.